We're talking with Angela, who had My Remodeling Pro come in and redo her bathroom. Talk about what it looked like before. What didn't you like about your bathroom?
Yeah, so before it was a perfectly functioning bathroom, but just aesthetically, it wasn't the look I was going for. The house is about probably 20 years old, so it just needed some updating, just some enhancements to look more up to date. So I was just looking to make it look nicer.
But from what I understand, you knew exactly what you wanted.
I did know exactly what I wanted. Yes, I am a bit of a interior design. That's definitely a hobby of mine. So I spent a lot of time just looking at, various magazines and online just to see exactly what I want. So I had a very clear vision of what I wanted, and Remodel Pro was definitely able to make that happen for me.
Talk about the process of finding My Remodeling Pro and deciding this is the company for me.
Yeah, that's a great question because it's an important process or important part of the process. I think I interviewed 5 or 6 different companies and looked online, just talked to some friends and got some references of where to go, and had interviews with the different companies. Asked them, how their process works, what their quotes were. I learned about their timelines and their customer service, and I just felt the most comfortable with the Remodeling Pro.
What sold you on this company?
I think what sold me on the company was they seemed like just a very honest, real group of colleagues. You could tell that they had kind of a family vibe to them. They're very reliable, always there when they said they're going to be there. Very quick to follow up with any questions that I had, even during the initial process of just trying to understand, the value they could bring to my project.
Did the fact that, this is a company that's been around for decades, that had to impress you?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And just learning more about their history and all the projects that they've done, not just bathrooms, but other projects too. And they had a book that could show me some of the results of their work, and I just felt really good about it.
Angela, talk about the process that you went through with My Remodeling Pro of picking out colors and textures and tile. I've seen your bathroom, it's beautiful, but talk about what that was like.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, I did know exactly what I wanted, so I was very clear about that. However, they were great about giving me or connecting me with a resource that they have of a remodeler that is also, very skilled in her work as well. So I met with her, told her what I wanted, and she was great about offering some various options within what I knew I wanted to really help me align on the final product. So I felt supported throughout the whole process.
I know one of the things they like to talk about is the fact that you're not limited to 3 or 4 certain patterns or designs or materials. You had a ton of stuff to pick from.
Oh yeah, the options were endless. Even within, I knew that I wanted kind of some grays on the floor, and I knew that I wanted 12 by 24 sizes of tile for the floor. But even within the 12 by 24 and the gray texture and tile, there were endless options of what I could choose from.
Did the design specialist steer you away from something maybe you thought you wanted to something you found out that you really did want?
There was a couple situations where she offered some ideas. I think ultimately I ended up aligning with what I had originally wanted, just because I had put so much research into that. But what she did do was provide some options to choose from that I hadn't originally considered.
Did you have questions during the process, and was there always somebody there to take your call and answer your questions?
Oh, absolutely. And one thing I loved about them is, so I'm a very busy working professional and mom, and so my ability to talk on the phone sometimes can be a challenge. But what they were great about is texting, because I can communicate a lot better that way. And so they would text me pictures. In fact, there was times during this project where I was out of town, and they would text me photos of updates to let me know what it looks like, and I could look at it and then text them back and say, hey, what about this or that? Very responsive and helpful throughout the process.
I know it kind of